Do have some breaking news to bring you now because we have learned that Ozzy Osbourne, the heavy metal star known as the Prince of Darkness, really the godfather of heavy metal, Black Sabbath frontman, has died at the age of 76. This was, of course, just weeks after he reunited with his Black Sabbath bandmates and performed a huge farewell concert for fans at Villa Park, the homecoming for them, really, their home city. He, of course, had a successful career with Black Sabbath, a successful solo career, and, of course, the reality TV career that he had as well, along with his wife, Sharon Osbourne. We have got a statement through from his family as well. They have said, "It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time." That Osbourne family statement signed by Sharon, his wife, and then his children as well, Jack, Kelly, Amy and Louis. So that news coming into us now, that the Black Sabbath frontman Ozzy Osbourne has died at the age of 76.
All right. I hate to open the bad news, but that is a loss of a pretty big legend there. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, I grew up listening to his music all through the 80s. You probably knew him personally, knowing you.
I did, but what is your take on Black Sabbath?
Which part? The last concert or the band?
No, I don't know. If you were Black, I don't know if you're a Black Sabbath fan or not.
I like the Paranoid album and just the main stuff back with Ozzy. I didn't really follow them completely, and then Ozzy did Crazy Train. He did the stuff on his own in the 80s, and they got 2 out of 3. I mean, Malcolm Jamal Warner also passing away, and he was kind of the Cosby Show in the 80s also is the biggest show in the world. So it's interesting seeing the.
It is true. Well, he drowned in Costa Rica, some undertow or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just an accident.
I know. Isn't that sad though? I'm almost embarrassed to say when I read that, I saw he died. I knew he wasn't that old, and I'm like, oh God, please tell me it wasn't self-inflicted or drugs. And they're like, oh, it's an accident. Oh, that sucks.
That's rare.
You're almost relieved that it's an accident with these people when they pass on. And ironically, Ozzy, who probably did more drugs to kill a few people, did make it quite a way. 76 is good.
It's shocking. It really is. I mean, I knew Ozzy fairly well. Okay. The sweetest guy in the history of rock and roll. This guy, I don't know about his stage persona. I never saw him perform. I don't know how he transformed into the Prince of Darkness, but in person, John Michael Osbourne was a doll, and I guess his nickname Ozzy came from his schoolmates just taking Osbourne and making it into Ozzy as a nickname back in grade school. Jack, I've met a couple of times, his son, but Ozzy, I knew fairly well. And even 10 years ago, he said to me, they had him for Parkinson's. They had him, I'm trying to remember the exact number he used, 56 different drugs that he was on to treat the Parkinson's at the time. And this was psych meds and everything else. But he was on like 40 or 50 different drugs. And he said, humorously, because of the shaking from Parkinson's and all the jewelry he was wearing, that they can hear him coming a mile away, which was kind of funny for Ozzy. And just the sweetest, nicest guy in show business. You hear that, but this guy really was egoless. And I don't know, again, what he transformed to on stage, biting the head. Was he like Alice Cooper? I mean, I've heard nothing but like how great Cooper was kind of
Alice
arrogant.
Cooper is.
Cooper was kind of cocky. I had dinner with Alice Cooper one night in Maui. Kind of a cocky dude. Not that he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be a cocky dude, but Ozzy was not. Ozzy was the sweetest guy I've ever met. Now, I mean, January 20th, 1982, when you go to Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa, where he bit the head off of a bat, he might not have been the same guy I was talking to in the.
Well, it was an accident, from what I understand. Somebody threw it on the stage, and he's like, and he got a bunch of rabies shots. So, he
don't
paid
forget
for that one.
7 years later, our friend of the show, Joel Coleman, will bite the head off of a mouse in performance in New York and get arrested by Bob Barker's police from the ASPCA. Now, Coleman got it from Ozzy. No doubt about it. There's an episode on Joe Coleman, a friend of the show, the great artist and performance artist who got arrested for biting the head off a rat, which he did at the end of every show. That was his thing, but he got that from Ozzy. One thing about Ozzy I have to say is he hated MTV more than if I mentioned MTV to him. He hated the executives. He hated the company. He hated the videos. He hated what they represented in pop culture. He hated what they did to rock and roll. And I could just pass that on for whatever that means to anybody.
Was his reality show on MTV?
No. This was before. No.
Oh, okay.
No, he was just talking about MTV in general, how much he hated them for doing what they did to rock and roll and videos and everything else. And he just despised them. Anytime I brought up MTV, he would just go fucking batshit crazy. And I mean bat in a Ozzy kind of way.
So let me guess, knowing you would deliberately bring up MTV.
No. He knew I had explained to him that I did not work for them, but I had my own company working with them. And he had, we had created like we did with the JFK cards. We had done one of the first issues at MTV. We had done rock and roll cards as a pop out hard cardboard collector's item in the first two issues of MTV magazine that I published. And one of the cards was Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat. They were illustrations by a guy named Tom Hackman, who was a brilliant illustrator. But anyway, he knew about this, Ozzy, and I would have to explain to him that I didn't work for them. I had my own company, and he would just hate MTV so much. The only time I ever saw him angry was at the mention of MTV. And take that for what it's worth. But the sweetest guy I've ever met in rock and roll. I mean, there are side guys who are sweet, also guys you never heard of, who are sidemen and stuff like that. But as a lead guy with that persona,
frontmen aren't known for it.
Right. Like what's his name's now being sued by the rest of the band.
Jane's Addiction, Perry Farrell.
Yeah, he's now being sued by the entire band. I mean, everybody hates him, right? Everybody hates this guy. But Ozzy was just my experiences with him, which you take it for what it's worth. Just the nicest guy in as a front man I've ever met in my life.
Well, I mean,
and he was diagnosed with Parkinson's a long time ago, Eric. So I mean, it took a long time.
My mother lived with Parkinson's for 19 years. So I'm really
I was going to say 20 years. Yeah, this is 20 years at least.
Yeah, it's dude, it's brutal. Anyway,
he was shaky. He was shaking visibly even 20 years ago. He was starting to shake, which is why I referenced that joke, but from him, not from me.
Yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, it was brutal, but to his credit, I'm so glad he got to do that last concert
this week, right? Wasn't it 3 days ago? Or something?
It was July 5th, but
July 5th. Okay,
pretty recent. I mean, it's within 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And to go out, like that, and he got to finish it. He thanked all of his fans, and wished them God bless and at the very end. So what a way to go! I mean, he actually got to perform, and even better, his daughter got engaged backstage for that concert.
Wow.
And I thought that's kind of cool. His farewell concert, his daughter getting engaged to, I think it was Godsmack person or somebody, I forget which band, but she's getting engaged to somebody. So it's kind of like one era ending, another one starting, all in a show, and it's really nice. So I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how he became, based on what I saw of him in person, privately, I don't know how he got up on that stage and performed physically.
Well, he was in a
shocking.
chair; he couldn't stand.
Okay, yeah, it's just shocking.
They carried him out there. There was no hiding that he couldn't get around.
Okay, all right, yeah.
No. He was in it, like this big, spectacle chair going on, and it was still good. He still, obviously his voice is hoarse, but what I love to see, he still had that presence. Yeah. And so he was from the chair. He's doing this, to the audience, and then just riling everybody up. And it's like you could just see that charisma. It doesn't go away, even though he couldn't stand.
I saw Johnny Winter at the end when he was in a chair, blinded by his albinoism. But man, he could still pick even at the end. Edgar's brother. Johnny Winter, the legend. Edgar, not as big of a legend, but I knew Edgar. I didn't know Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny was more in the blues lane. Edgar crossed into rock a little bit.
Yeah.
Fair?
Yep. Okay. Yep. Well, Johnny was a junkie and Edgar was a Scientologist. So pick your poison.
Whoa.
Yeah, pick your poison, bro.
Did they talk?
Yes, he worshipped his brother till the day he died. Absolutely flipped out when he died. Yes.
Okay. Well, because I was going to say Scientologists sometimes, not
with Edgar. Edgar was constantly. It was too big for them to push around. Let me put it that way.
Well, that's good. That's good. I did not know that. All right. Well, I hate everybody to start on a downer news, but I feel like it's important to acknowledge a legend like that. Don't want to give the short shrift. Malcolm Jamal Warner again also passed away. Horrible, freaky accident type of situation, but kind of ironic too. It's like, he's a good guy. I've never heard anything bad about Malcolm Jamal Warner, just a normal person. Meanwhile, the lead of the show is going to probably live to be 100 after committing all kinds of crime, going out of prison. And no, he's fine. But poor Malcolm Jamal Warner, he dies a year younger than I am right now, which is just
it's a freak accident. It's things happen.
Absolutely.
Stay out of the ocean.
All right, so on to our fun favorite stories of the day. We will discuss the politics. The latest big story is Tulsi Gabbard. It's a thumbnail. It's the documents, and
the document story. I was watching her yesterday. What's today? Today's Tuesday. Sunday with Maria Bartiromo on Fox in the morning, and she seems completely determined. And I'm saying this is just my take on it, to get this done. And Bartiromo asked her every question, every kind of way to trip her up or see if there's any wiggle room or have her walk back what she was saying. And she just kept doubling down on, submitting it to the Department of Justice for seditious treason. And what we're referring to, obviously, is the documents, which we knew about, Eric. We knew about this meeting with Joe Biden, Obama, and the heads of the intelligence team right before they left office. And Susan Rice was there. We knew about this. We knew about these documents. We knew about the meeting. And yet she has now gotten the physical documents and turned them over to Pam Bondi. Just to sum it up, without getting into the weeds about the actual documents, the documents of the intelligence, different intelligence agencies, said there was no interference by Russia in the election. Now, this is in December 8th, and they were doing, even before the election, they were saying there was no interference on the part of Russia. This is the presidential daily brief. And
now, to be specific, I mean, I don't want to jump in too much, but they didn't say there was none. I think they admitted that they tried, but they failed. It was like unsuccessful, or the Russians weren't capable of.
I don't know. They proved that they spent $100,000 on some Facebook ads. I mean, that we knew that at the time. They spent $100,000 of hard-earned Russian money to pay for Facebook ads, saying what? Don't vote for Trump in Iowa or vote for Hillary Clinton in Des Moines. I mean, what could they actually do in these ads? I mean, if you think about it rationally, you can't hack into 5 million voting systems around the country, as we know, because they're all unplugged, they're all separate. Some of them are punch hole things and whatever you want. It's a mishmash. So the whole story was insane from the beginning, from hacking into something that is not hacking into a bull, because it's completely decentralized. Let's just put it that way. So their crimes were to pay for ads on Facebook, a total of 100 grand, saying various things. So, okay, so you read these various things. Whoever read them, okay. What Obama did was he had them change the intelligence report to saying that Russia heavily influenced the election and was in bed, manipulating this with Trump. That's from Obama down to Comey, Clapper, Brennan, et al. They then go and carry out this Steele dossier enhancement, which Hillary Clinton's law firm had paid for, from the Mossad agent Steele. Oh, it wasn't Mossad. It was MI6. My misspoke. Sorry, Eric. The MI6 agent. Why would MI6 be concerned? Very interesting. MI6, the Steele dossier was a former MI6 agent who had covered Moscow for many years. I believe I always believed that the Steele dossier was really about Hunter Biden. About Hunter, yeah. And all of the things in there, if you simply change the name from Hunter Biden to Donald Trump, the document would seem to be
lines up perfectly.
A biography, a literal biography. I mean,
sure.
Hunter Biden had given $2 million to the mayor's wife of Moscow from money he had gotten out of the Ukraine through his Burisma shenanigans, and was to set up a high-end call girl in-house bordello that she was the madam of, the mayor of Moscow. So this is the type of stuff that intelligence units, intelligence agencies would be interested in if you are the son of the vice president of the United States. But that's a call for another day. I believe the Steele dossier was originally about Hunter Biden. Now, Hunter Biden went off the rails this weekend also.
I was going to say, he's in the... I was like, I know, I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, somebody's interviewing Hunter. Where? Oh, what
right.
What happened to
Hunter?
He
dropped so many F-bombs. I'm just wondering, how sober is Hunter Biden? Because I don't know sober people who talk like that. It
looked like a guy whose money ran out talking to me.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you know of who have lost their means and they're bitter? And who was he targeting? Clooney. And remember, they were talking about Hunter Biden was not single-handedly, along with the chief of staff, Joe Biden's chief of staff or whatever. They were keeping Joe Biden in the race. They were running Biden themselves. So I'm sure that he's more than a little bitter.
Well, getting back to Tulsi and her release of the documents, what she has done is put these documents into the public light, and these are far more important. I know this sounds insane than the Epstein documents. I'm sorry, but that may have to wait until Ghislaine Maxwell testifies before Comer's committee, which the Democrats on the committee, 4 of them, voted to pull her ass out of prison to keep this story going. And Burchett went along with it stupidly, so they could make a circus out of Ghislaine Maxwell being a non-testimonial thing, which is what's going to happen.
She's doing both, though, because she's blocking or trying to block Pam Bondi releasing grand jury testimony.
Yeah. So,
kind of on both ends. So she's working a message herself.
Right. This was not a Republican move by Comer's committee, and this was a move by the Democrats on the committee, by the way, just so people know at home who's trying to win the day based on the situation with Epstein. But getting back to Obama, this situation now is so explosive and so incredibly powerful for Pam Bondi to deal with, now that this has been dumped in her lap like an atomic bomb by Tulsi Gabbard, who was as serious as cancer during this interview on Sunday morning, which I highly recommend people see, with Maria. She has complete confidence that this is a convictable, treasonous conspiracy on the part of the Obama administration, starting with the commander-in-chief at the top. And this is going to make or break Pam Bondi and this administration, Eric.
Yeah, no, to temper things a little bit. The treasonous word technically wouldn't apply by law, and Barnes talked about as well. If people want to check it out, Barnes went into the law, and treason and sedition, they are specific laws. There are specific factors. I forgot what law he stated that it did break. There is something, but the treasonous, it's almost a loaded word to go into.
No, I'm just quoting Tulsi Gabbard.
I know.
I'm quoting her. I don't know what the law is that they broke, but clearly Comey, Clapper, and Brennan, along with Obama, I mean, who masterminded this thing, as this channel has said from day one, and other people have said. Matt Taibbi has said it, and Gavin and Devin Nunes has said it in his report. There's a lot of people who have said it, but now this day has come, Eric, finally, to where Pam Bondi has this on her lap. And this is going to make or break this administration. Whether she does it or not, I mean, this is going to tear this administration apart if she does absolutely nothing, because Gabbard is insisting that she prosecute this thing. I've never seen this happen like this with somebody from ODNI going public saying, I've given the documents to Pam Bondi, to the AG, to prosecute these people so publicly, Eric. Usually this is done behind the scenes.
Right. Well, what I find interesting is, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a statement released by Obama addressing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, and he doesn't answer shit. Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, Obama really doesn't talk a lot at all about anything, and he doesn't acknowledge anything. So the fact that he answered is interesting. So this is
respect for the office of the presidency. Our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House.
Who gives a shit what he's saying?
But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one.
Fuck
These bizarre
you.
allegations are ridiculous and a weak
Sure
attempt
they
at
are,
distraction. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016
Mueller,
presidential election. But
Mueller, his own man, stood up in a congressional hearing at the end of the Mueller report, even though he was senile and had Joe Biden disease, said there was nothing to the reports about Russia's interference in the election. Mueller himself, the guy that they handpicked to do this investigation, said there was nothing to it. But this guy, he's going to stick to their storyline that this was that Trump was a what did Hillary call him? Not unqualified president, or forget the termination. The words she actually,
not a legitimate
president. Yeah. I think she was talking about legitimacy because
which is ironic because how many Republicans said that of Biden, but it's like, oh, how dare you question the most perfect thing that ever was run? It's like, well, you guys did it.
In fact, everything about our elections that has ever been questioned and manipulated or put into some sort of conspiracy theory comes from the Democrats themselves. Everything,
including, by the way, including the birther controversy.
Yes,
that didn't come from Trump. That came directly from Hillary Clinton.
Right,
and Trump ran with it. This is back in 2008, and everybody forgot about it, and they tied it to Trump, saying, "Oh, it was Trump." It's like Hillary is the one who pointed that out. Hillary,
right? But going back to LBJ in Texas with elections. And going back to every single thing where Nixon lost to Kennedy and wouldn't challenge it, Eric. Every single thing about election controversy, I'm just generalizing here, in our lifetimes, going before my lifetime, involves Democrats. It is there in the mix on every single one of these things. They created this Russian election hoax. They created the mail-in ballot debacle. They fight tooth and nail to avoid having ID cards at the ballot. They're the ones who passed the 1964 and 1965 Voting Rights Acts to make one minority group that votes 99% for them have special privileges in voting. Every single aspect of voting that has been distorted in this democracy since the 1960s has come from them.
You can go even further than that.
Bush v.
Obama
Gore
himself
Yeah.
Getting into the Senate
And the Senate race.
Was about busting people's signatures down.
That's right.
Screwing the other candidate over.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm just saying. So even not before you get in, just getting on the ballot.
Yeah.
There was a Democratic manipulation there. And a lot of people forget about that.
They have found an Achilles heel in our political body. And the Achilles heel is the free and fair elections. And because it's decentralized and there's a lot of wide open shenanigans all through American history. But from 1960, 65 up until today, they have found every single hole in our system and exploited it. And Republicans, to their credit, have not. They really haven't, including Nixon in 1960.
Yeah. I mean, well, Republicans don't. Again, Republicans' conservative mentality is kind of, with the people. They're above that. Yeah. They don't roll around in the muck. And I know it drives you crazy, but that is it's their nature.
Yeah, I know it's their nature. It's hard to understand the nature part, but I understand it intellectually.
It is what it is, and that's why I mean Trump is correct on this election. It's like, okay, the Republicans are going to go for it. Go swamp the vote. Make it too big. Yeah. Make it, where there's just no question. And there was no question. So therefore, this one came out pretty clean. And by the way, 2016 was pretty damn clean too. Yeah. There was it took everybody by surprise. And I think that's why that happened. And 2020 was a result of 2016. I mean, all these do go together, I think.
Well, it's just amazing how quickly they went to the Russian thing to destroy his presidency, and then the FISA court to spy on his presidency. All of the things he said are now true. And I hope at this point we're going to get justice from these particular crimes. I don't know the technical charges, and neither do a lot of people, but clearly you've got a situation where they tried to overthrow or encumber the presidency of the United States. And it's just got to be dealt with. Pam Bondi can't hide in a beauty salon or in Fox from this one. Tulsi Gabbard, in my opinion, has intentionally thrown down the gauntlet to her.
Well, personally, I don't want to wait on Pam Bondi. I want Congress. If they're going to have JFK files, no. I want them to subpoena every single person involved in this. That's out there, because these are public record. Tulsi Gabbard released all these documents to the public.
Right. So what are they going to do with them?
I think they should have a hearing, and they should ask every person involved.
Who wants hearings?
I do, because even if they're pleading the fifth, it paints a picture. Or if they
go to a DC grand jury and get an indictment already.
Well, you know what? The more that's out there, the more pressure it is to indict. And I want it out there. I want to see if they commit perjury. Okay. Then we've got something right there. I want to see if we can collect more evidence. I want to see if we can get people to roll. Why not?
I don't know. I think there's plenty. I think there's plenty of evidence right now, and I think that anything is going to allow.
That's actually in dispute, Mark. I mean, it really is. Not everybody.
I don't have all the evidence, so I want an indictment, and so does the American people. And people are sick and tired of this. We're tired of hearings. We're tired of Luna. I'm tired of Comer. I'm tired of all these fucking people. Somebody's got to be indicted, and I'm sorry to say it's got to happen now, not 6 years from now, not 6 months from now. Now, we've waited 10 freaking years for this thing. It's enough already.
Oh, fair enough. While we're then talking about what we're tired of, one of the new pieces are the MLK files. A lot of them have been dropped. I don't think you've got a chance to look at it. I'm not sure, but I did want to at least address it. Yeah. Well, you were looking to see if it's going to reveal what his activities were while the FBI was spying on him, and if any of that's coming out. Again, I don't know though yet.
The only thing I'm interested in is communist influence in the MLK circles by his chief advisor, who was an avowed communist. And I think the documents in there will prove how much he was surrounded by a communist influence by this particular advisor, who John F. Kennedy himself held a private two meetings with MLK, telling him to get rid of this political advisor from New York, and who is an avowed communist. and he refused to do it. And JFK begged him to do it, and he said, "I can't get Hoover off your back unless you get rid of this communist advisor." And MLK refused. Then his brother, RFK, signed the wiretaps on MLK to develop dirt on him, which Hoover then sent to MLK the tapes of him having sex with various women that was mailed to him as a suicide kit, which the wife interceded Coretta Scott King and listened to. And that was all because of this particular advisor, which I think there's going to be a lot of files on.
Okay, real quickly, there is a Rumble rant, so rare anymore. Flea Speech said, "Love AUS. Mark, were you involved with National Lampoon Brilliant Anita Bryant Orange Juice spoof? Love from Denmark."
I'm aware of it. I wasn't involved. When he says involved, what was it, like a conspiracy? I mean, somebody wrote an article. I mean, was I involved?
Well, you're the editor.
It's a magazine. It's a magazine, and I was not involved with that particular situation, but I am well aware of it in Denmark. Thank you.
Crash over. I said, Eric just called us cheapskates. No, we just don't get a lot out of Rumble.
That was pretty weird. From Denmark, no less. From Denmark.
Hey, we love Denmark.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. That we I think we've talked about. That's a place that we want to go. Copenhagen.
Dude. I could live in
Denmark
Copenhagen.
Meetup.
Yeah, that's my ultimate meetup. Yeah, they have.
I want to get a rake of it.
They're fans of two different groups, Jews and blues. And one of the first times I went in there, I ran into an old black friend of mine who was a blues musician from New York. I said, "What are you doing here?" He says, "Hell, I moved here." I said, "Why?" He said, "They worship blues here." And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, Jews too." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, and he's showing me these statues around various Jewish, I guess, Norwegian Jewish heroes or something. And I went, "Oh my God, this is a great place."
Wow. All right. That's amazing. Okay. So this is a continuation of a story we talked about, and now there's more information. You thought it was fireworks that caused the explosion at the training camp. It appears there's something else. So what in the hell?
Okay, I was not wrong. I was not wrong. They had seized private explosives, including fireworks, from a private home, and which included some sort of grenades as well as other explosives, including fireworks. Took it back to their own place where they're supposed to deal with this, and blew themselves up.
But grenades is insane.
It was just part of the cache. It was part of the whole cache that they had taken in from this particular home that had various kinds of explosives.
Boy,
yeah, grenades being part of it. Grenades being part of it. And again, which has happened out here a number of times, this occurred when they were trying to either detonate or get rid of professionally.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Well, you know, I guess I should expect that. But there are crazy people who carry crazy things. I did an interview with Angelique McQueen, who was married to the drummer of Great White. And many people may remember Great White is the band who was playing when that club burned up because of the pyrotechnics in Rhode Island, I believe it was. And I mean, a lot of people died. It was a very horrible incident. Well, apparently those pyrotechnics, she said they came from KISS, and they were not handed over improperly, but they were all stored at her house. And she was saying, you know, she felt terrible about the club. She's also lucky that their house didn't go up either.
Yeah, they have had a history of things going bad after they have seized these items, trying to detonate these items, if that makes any sense, here in LA.
And that's risky. Yeah,
right.
I mean, yeah. It kind of makes you wonder, maybe they should have it like in giant water barrels or something. Yeah. Wow.
I don't know, but this is not the first time this has happened. I thought it was a fireworks explosion, but there were, besides the grenades, other fireworks and explosives seized. So,
Okay, now
dangerous job.
No kidding. Now, one thing I like to say, and I think it annoys you, but too bad, is from the Department of shocking but not surprising, is this next story. FireAid raised $100 million for the LA fire victims, but many say they have not been paid.
Yeah, I talked about this, I think, on the show when they had FireAid. We had a conversation about this because I made a joke about they listed the NGOs, and all of the NGOs added the word fire into a subchapter of their NGO to get the money. In other words, the Native American indigenous tribes of Los Angeles became a subchapter, the Indigenous Fire Damaged Tribes of Los Angeles. The LA County Dog Pound became the LA County Dog Pound Fire Rescue NGO. Every single thing, there was hundreds of them. So all of this money went to these subchapters of the NGOs. And this woman here, who is from Pacific Palisades, called up various people, and not one person has gotten one dime from the money that was raised by FireAid. Again, as Eric said, shocking, not surprising. But I mean, the way to deal with this, they refused to respond, first of all, to her calls and phone calls. When they finally did respond, they said that we distributed the money to these hundreds of NGOs. Okay, the NGOs then kept the money. They kept the money for their salaries as per the rules of leftist NGO societies. But the way to shame them is to contact the performers, because they have a bigger microphone and megaphone. Contact Flea from the Chili Peppers. Contact these people and tell them to speak out. That's the way to do it. Because I remember the concert for Bangladesh and that debacle that George Harrison had raised, and somehow the money was not going to the starvation in Bangladesh. And that became a huge, huge brouhaha after that concert to raise money for the people of Bangladesh. This is a very similar situation. And if I talk to this woman, if I can find her, and I found her Twitter account, so I'm going to reach out to her. The way to do it is to contact the representatives of everybody who performed and say, this is an outrage and we expect your client to say something about it.
That's a great idea. Shame them. You're like, oh, what? You didn't care about these people? You didn't? And then
no, right? Absolutely, absolutely. That's the only place to go, because she doesn't have a megaphone to speak publicly. She was on Fox Local 2 nights ago talking about this on Local Fox, but she doesn't have the megaphone to do this. Separately, in a new breaking story that somebody put up a video of this morning, which I think I sent you. Squatters are now. Go ahead.
You want to watch it?
Yeah, let's watch it. This is just breaking today.
Here is the latest insanity over here in the LA fire zones. Squatters are overtaking vacant lots that burn down, like this one right behind me here. This guy set up a whole campsite, and I guess actually went down to the DMV, listed this as his address on his driver's license.
That's right.
And the property owner can't get them off.
Nope.
The police even showed up and they said, we can't do anything about it. It's got to go to the courts. Here's another one right behind me. This is two right across the street from each other. Squatters who have overtaken these properties, and the homeowners cannot get them off of the site. So if you're in Pacific Palisades or Altadena, I'd get some security fencing up right away, or you might lose your property to a vagrant, and the county isn't going to do anything to help you.
You know what I would be curious to see?
What?
You have Gavin Newsom and Bass wanting to seize the properties. What do you want to bet that these squatters are on a property that they like or want, that those squatters will be removed faster than anything you've ever
Absolutely. seen? In fact, they're going to let the squatters take every piece of land before they take it. And then they'll take it from the squatters. Apparently, nobody can get them off. They're not only are they registering at the DMV to get the property addresses, they've gone to the United States Post Office to make this their mailing address. The mailman is now delivering mail to the squatters who have taken the land under this Marxist leadership government in LA County from the people who either have sold it to developers or have not sold it or in the process of selling it. The market now is saturated, by the way, Eric. the price has gone down to about 800,000 per lot, from a high point of around 1,700,000, from what I understand. And they were shaming each other at the beginning if they found out you were going to sell your lot. That became public shaming by the neighbors. So the people who sold quietly and privately, and now everyone is embittered that they didn't sell. Wow.
Well,
wow.
Okay, let me tell you how I think this works.
Go ahead.
The shaming by the neighbors was, I gotta shame them while I work my deal here before, because I gotta get my shit sold, because everybody knows there's going to be a glutton and the price is going to plummet, and it's a race to get whatever you can off of a lost cause.
Well, nobody seemed to race to it. The people who are now, it's like musical chairs. Now there's not enough chairs to sit on. The music has stopped, and the market has kind of choked its way off a little bit. And the amount of building is zero, as Adam Carolla keeps pointing out. There's one house being built. This is about flipping lots. And now good luck flipping the lot with the squatters on it, because that's going to block the flipping of your lot, because whoever buys it or goes to sell it will have to go to court to get rid of them to sell it, which may take 5 years.
Amazing.
I did not see this one coming. I have to be honest with you. I did not.
Well, not the squatters. I mean,
no, I didn't see the squatters one coming.
Criminals got to give them credit. They always come up with something new.
Okay. But she recently, because of defunding the police, relieved the police of protecting the neighborhood from this. The second the police, that's why I didn't think this was going to happen. She recently relieved command of the police who were guarding the entire neighborhood from people driving through it because of this. And the second they left, this is what happened. Again, Karen Bass. The police did not order themselves to leave. They left. Astounding damage that every move she makes leads to another domino effect of destruction because of the Marxist principles that she's ruling by.
But you see, these squatters have the same mentality as her.
Yeah.
Ironically, so they know the play, and think about
they're like professionals. They're like
disturbingly clever this shit is, because you take an RV or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there's already plumbing there. You just got to tap into it. There's already water there. Hell, they're probably paying a water bill. And then that gives them for ownership. It's like, oh, no. I've got bills. I've got
absolutely.
And it's like, oh, you can't get rid of me. You've got to have an eviction notice. It's going to take this time and that. Oh, my God. It's
right.
It's horrible.
They're going to get paid at the end of the day. In other words, the person who wants to flip this thing, if you just play it out in your own mind, the person, they're going to go to them and say, get off my land. First is going to be the huff and puff outrage. And they're going to do what you just said. And here's my DMV, my license, the mail. Here's my thing and everything. And the guy's going to say, what is it going to cost for me to get you off this fucking land? And that's a negotiation that'll give them $5, $10, $20, $50, $100,000. Who the hell knows?
And then they'll move next door
to the next one. Yeah.
With their money.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because when the police show up, and this is not just LA, this is all across the country. We saw this in Atlanta. We've seen this all over the country. The police simply say that's a court matter. These people are dummying up leases. That these people are getting legitimate DMV licenses and DMV addresses and probably file with the IRS, for Christ's sakes. But I originally said, if you remember, my original plan was to put FEMA trailers on every parcel of land owned, and this would have stopped it from day one. They could have lived in their own FEMA trailer. They could have rebuilt around it. They could have kept the trailer and lived in it, gone to school. Every single thing could have maintained their entire lifestyle. However, that was not the scheme of the county. As you pointed out, as we both pointed out last week, this has been discussed in universities here in Southern California, Northern California for decades. Let Malibu Burn is a book or a chapter in a book. This discussion of letting Malibu burn has been around for a long time. And now we see that they're going to build Section 8 housing on these properties throughout the burned out area in Pacific Palisades. And Section 8 is a federal equivalent of the state thing that they're going to build.
And it's such a terrible mess. I don't even know what outcome.
Right, because this mayor rules through a Marxist lens. She's now going to say, well, these, where are these homeless people supposed to go? They've taken the land by squatters' rights, and they believe squatters' rights is in the Constitution.
Yeah. I know. I mean, really, she's probably delighted.
Yeah.
She probably has people on staff or people she knows.
She's probably directing them there.
You know what you could do? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how they operate. That's how this government operates here. Everything's a wink and a nod. She's celebrating the fact that the Marines have pulled out, until the next riot. She's now celebrating that she drove the U.S. Marines. I swear to God, she's celebrating that she personally drove the United States Marine Corps out of Los Angeles, who were here for riot support. And she's kowtowing and putting this as a feather in her political cap.
Wow. And the sad thing is I can see her getting reelected by a
landslide. Absolutely.
Ooh, wow, man. It's dark, dude.
It's dark, man. It's dark.
I mean, I'm glad that you're in the middle of things.
No,
congratulations. Dude, and enjoy it there.
It's not a question of joy. It's a question of excitement.
All right. Well, have an exciting time. Or what's a Chinese curse?
If I was in Moscow in 1917 during the revolution, I would just say, I ain't fucking leaving until I see what happens here, because this is historical events that are going on. Trump is now going to make a move. Keep in mind, Rick Grinnell is in charge of the fire restoration here by Trump. He is the chief advisor on the restoration of these areas by Trump himself. So Grinnell is not going to take this lying down.
But what is he going to do? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm really curious to see.
I don't know.
What maneuver. Now, and I will.
I'm excited.
And I will give this administration credit. They come up with things that I don't think of. So it's possible.
I know. It's so much better than I thought this administration was going to be. Maybe all of us feel that way now, or some of us are haters of it, but I had only the first administration to compare it to, Eric, like all of us. I am so surprised, pleasantly, how aggressive this administration has been on 10 to 20 different fronts, Eric. I mean, they busted LAX this morning. They took down phony solar panels that were being shipped to New Zealand filled with crystal meth. Hundreds and hundreds of solar panels that were created simply to ship crystal meth from LA to New Zealand by federal authorities.
New Zealand, though. I'm like, wow, what a crazy ass destination.
I know, but New Zealand needs meth too, Eric.
Oh, I'm not trying to discount their desire for meth,
right.
Meanwhile, by the way, while we're shipping all the meth there, can I point out that I have sinus issues and I have to show my damn driver's license just to get freaking Sudafed from the pharmacy.
That's because of the meth people. Yeah, that's a side effect of meth.
And I'm sitting here going, I'm so glad that this has been going on for years now. That they have I have helped single-handedly stop crystal meth production in the country because I show my license at the store.
Keep in mind that was the first item ever locked up under lock and key in the CVS, Rite Aid pharmacy, all the systems. Now everything is locked up because of stealing and everything else. But that was the first item ever locked up by the stores themselves. Was the antihistamine drug problem,
Wow. But yet they leave the can dusters out.
Yeah, it's weird about the dusters. Yeah, I know. I always wondered about the dusters being out. Now, this goes all the way back to the Tylenol scare in the 80s, Eric, of having new caps put on Tylenol after the tampering. So the lockup of lock and key for the antihistamine stuff has a precedent with Tylenol.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but
that.
the dust off is shocking. I agree.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know what, we're okay if certain people are doing that. Yeah, it does make you think that. It's like you're going to lock down meth like crazy, but the dusters,
whipped cream too. I mean, you could get in the whipped cream.
And can't they get in the nail polish too? Or I don't know what
nail polish. I think is locked up. Also, there's some of these things that are locked up because the rug cleaner you could still get too.
Okay. I'm not an expert in all that. Okay.
No.
While we're talking about your charming county now, this is actually a couple of stories rolling together.
Okay.
It was sent, but I found a little bit more, so it seemed to be a quick sequence. But the sheriff was not answering citations.
Ooh, we had talked about this. Go ahead.
Right. But the reason he gave is interesting. He said LA County cannot hand over immigrant inmates' data despite the DOJ threat. He was claiming, hey, sorry, tough shit. You got to have a search warrant. But I did, while I was researching to find a story to go with what you sent me, it appears that they did come up with a search warrant or something because his tune has changed.
Yeah.
Like a day later.
Yep.
LA County Sheriff says there's no choice.
Yep.
But to honor ICE warrants for jail inmates. So it appears.
Yeah.
He is having to turn these people over.
Well, there's an interim story between the two stories. They threatened to arrest him, and he started to bark on local TV that he was not going to be arrested. He was not going to be intimidated. He was not going to buckle. And he got text message after letter after email from Department of Homeland Security, from Tom Homan, saying, you will physically be arrested. You and I talked about this when I started this procedure, how they were going to go after the police forces of these mayors. And he's part of that here, even though he's elected. He was handpicked to defeat Villanueva, who they considered to be a Trump ally, and made him they passed legislation locally here that if they don't like the way a sheriff's doing sheriff stuff, he could be removed. This was specifically designed for Villanueva, who is now running again against Luna, this guy who beat him for the election. This guy's a stooge of the LA County Board of Supervisors.
Oh, so wait, Villanueva is running against him, or Villanueva's guy?
No, Villanueva himself.
Oh, so he's going from mayor to sheriff? Or
no, you're thinking of Villagrosa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
okay.
You're not from here. It's cool. Villanueva was the former sheriff. He was a Trump guy. He, during the George Floyd riots, was the only guy to put his men in harm's way and try to protect the city from burning to the ground. They did not like that. They threw everything they could against Villanueva, and they found this stooge, Luna, to win the election, and Luna is now going to be challenged again by Villanueva. Luna, I think, is flippable if they arrest him. He can. I think they could flip this guy. I was hoping he'd get arrested, but now apparently he's going to cooperate with ICE out of fear of his own arrest.
Right. Well, and by the way, if I remember correctly, a lot of people would want the LA County Sheriff's job because at least at one point, was it not the highest paid public servant in the country?
Not only that, it's the largest sheriff's department in the nation. It's a huge, huge police department. It's much bigger than LAPD. Now, LAPD has been so decimated because they control LAPD. They've lost thousands of cops, and now the cops can't respond to anything. There's not enough time in the day for the cops to show up. So these street takeovers are happening every single weekend where these kids show up with their cars and thousands of people show up at an intersection and they do donuts in the intersection late at night with thousands of people making videos. Police don't show up. They then spin off and loot all the stores around the street takeover. This is every single weekend. They took over an intersection, then looted the auto zone afterwards, completely ransacking the auto zone. LAPD showed up with a riot squad afterwards. There's nobody left. And there was video on TV last night of LAPD showing up hours after the event was over. They refused to, by orders of Karen Bass, refuse to intercede in these street takeovers by thousands of people. Many have been hurt. Stores have been looted. These cars have crashed into people. They make videos for TikTok, their cars spinning around, going crazy. The businesses have complained saying we pay taxes. What the fuck gives? No response from the city. LAPD doesn't respond to these massive events.
Are you not getting tired of these people who commit crimes, like you just mentioned all that right there.
Yeah.
Then there's like this other asshole. I don't even remember what city it was, but he has fireworks. He likes fireworks. Videos himself throwing it like right into people's dinner or whatever they're doing.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's just a good old time, and he's throwing actual fireworks in college town. It's all online, and it's like, why are they not arrested?
Yeah, I don't understand.
It does not take this long, okay? It doesn't take that long. You know,
it's insane. They had Nathan Hochman, the new district attorney, on, and he looked a little befuddled. Hochman, he looked disheveled. He looked overworked. I never seen him so bespruckled like this before. 9 cars pulled up in front of this jewelry store downtown. 9 guys got out with masks. It was like 9 cars, but it was really like 20 guys. They proceeded with crowbars to break into the jewelry store, and the owner fired a warning shot from behind the counter, and you see them fleeing and diving and driving off back into their cars because he simply fired a warning shot in the air to prevent them from crowbarring their way into his store. Why he was in there at night, maybe he knew that they were coming.
It's your store. Yeah. I mean, you can sense the pulse in the neighborhood. They know what's going on. I mean, geez. But you know what? In order to cover things like this and to try to stay on top of things, we need an assist. And that assist is not hidden behind the counter at a drugstore.
You can get
it's
this
100% legal. 100% legal. And that is coffee.
Oh.
It's actually pretty good for you, too. You can have some delicious America's Untold coffee made by Moondoes, and that is Moondoes, as in the opposite of Starbucks, because Starbucks is burnt garbage that people don't want to drink, not to mention being an extremely woke company, versus Moondoes, which is a veteran-owned roastery, and we have 2 flavors. The Supreme Breakfast Blend, that's the original flavor, which is kind of a brighter, bolder, immediate blend, and then the Magic Bullet Blend, which is unreal, and that is a kind of a mellow, rich brew, if you will. As a comparison, I don't know if this would mean anything to anybody. Magic Bullet Blend is kind of like a Guinness draft, versus the other one being maybe more like an IPA in terms of the bright. Guinness is kind of a rich, full drink. It's a similar principle, and I think you'll enjoy it. Give it a shot. I recommend, if you do, you can get free shipping if you buy 4, and it does make a difference. Shipping is ridiculous, but you can point your phone right at the screen right here. It'll take you immediately to it. We get a little bit kickback from it, and that helps me pay for my own copy habit, because I am literally drinking this every day. I go through 1 bag, lasts me a week or 2, then I go to the other bag, and I just go back and forth between the 2 flavors, and I'm super, super happy with this product. So I hope you guys consider checking it out. I think you will really enjoy it. We've had a great response from everybody. But okay,
can you explain this McNichol story of you sent me from Axios about the representative who burglarized some place with burglary tools, who was arrested?
I don't know what is going on. Okay, the story.
Please
explain
I don't know the story to me. Her name is Nicole Mitchell. She was convicted on burglary charges, and she's a state senator in
Minneapolis, and apparently they only have a 2-seat majority, so there is very sketchy for them. She's a Democrat state senator. She broke into her mother's place. I don't know where Mark went, but she broke into her mother's place and had burglary tools, had gloves, had all kinds of things going on. I don't know what in the world she was looking for, but then when she got caught, they told her, she claimed, "Oh, no, I'm really just checking on my mother-in-law and making sure she's okay."
Yeah, what?
I'm like, well, that's a weird excuse. It's like, I don't usually break into a place and burglarize to make sure that I'm doing a health and safety check.
With a black mask on too, right? Didn't she have a black?
Yeah, she had all the tools and everything, and I'm kind of going, this sounds like a will dispute, or we're trying to get some sort of property that we want. But
she was looking for documents. Oh, by the way,
it stands up to what you were saying about the Democrats, how they won't let go of anything for a minute. So she, even while this trial's going on and all that, she never resigned. She's been convicted. I think she's still a state senator,
first term state senator. Now,
right, just like your guy in New York, he did not leave office until he was already convicted, charged, sentenced in his eyes. Like, you're literally sentencing. Probably the police are reporting to his office to drag him out. It's like, look, you're done.
Menendez in New Jersey, right? Oh, yeah, exactly. Menendez didn't leave. He was still in the Senate when he was in prison. Leading up to it, but it's so funny because where do they get these candidates from? What's the number one thing to be a candidate? Name recognition. This is a first-term state senator from Minnesota. What did she do before she was?
She was a meteorologist on the Weather Channel.
Right. That's my point.
But wow,
she was a dingbat, nutty weather woman, and now she's going to prison for burglary. They will take anyone to run in the Democratic Party who has a leg up, meaning name recognition, Eric, including the weather girl. She's the weather girl from that region.
Well, okay, I'm also going to say her story is almost as bonkers as the astronaut. Do you remember the astronaut female that went stalking and attacked? I forgot.
Yeah.
That was such a bonkers
That was
story.
Crazy. What about the two Secret Service agent women who were fighting each other?
Oh,
saying,
yeah. Well,
you're going to get this, bitch. I'll take care of you. That was recent.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Oh, my God. But there's no DEI. It's fine.
No, the saddest, craziest story got to be just broke. This old gay married couple in the UK hired. They had a third wheel in their relationship. This black African gay porn star who was involved in their tryst. Let's put it that way.
So, I sense cuckolding is coming into the
No.
Okay.
That would be too mellow. That would be too mellow. There's even pictures with him on vacation with them. So of course the African guy loved meth. So, and they filmed all of the sexual encounters for their own use. So he chopped them up while doing this the other day, beheaded them like all meth people do, put them in a suitcase and wheeled them out on closed circuit TV. And the police in UK, in London, are now traumatized for having to watch the entire event because there's hours of footage. And his defense is, I just lost my shit, no big deal. They have him actually doing this stuff to the senior citizen gay married couple and wheeling them out always in the suitcases with rollers on closed circuit TV.
That is beyond disturbing.
They said this is the most disturbing case in the history of England in terms of the video, what he did. There's video of him dancing around covered in their blood to music like it's something out of Reservoir Dogs, Eric. Yeah, it is dark over there. It is dark.
And by the way, I was talking to the different lawyers because they obviously cover different trials and whatever's coming. I thought about doing a video on this at one point. What is the deal with the trend of suitcases being used?
I told you, yeah.
I think
it goes back to Hawaii. It goes back to the one in the Philippines. Remember where the mother went over there and the boyfriend and daughter killed her? I think it was the Philippines. Put her in the suitcase and took her out. The suitcase has become the go-to transportation method for decapitated or just dormant bodies that need to be disposed of.
Or even better still, you know about Sarah Boone, right? Suitcase Sarah?
I don't know about Suitcase Sarah, but I'll tell you the reason is one word: wheels.
Okay, well,
you have to have wheels. You have to have wheels.
That makes sense. Because
you can't lug a 180-pound person in a suitcase without wheels. These wheeled suitcases are killing people around the world. The suitcases themselves,
or at least storing them. They're killing them ahead. But that's where I'm going with Suitcase Sarah.
Okay, go ahead.
Suitcase Sarah Boone. She didn't bother, and she just said, "Hey, let's play a little game."
Oh, I remember her. Yes.
And then the guy was locked up, and she's like, "Oh," and they just left him in there.
That was so dark. That was so dark. Oh, that was crazy. And she didn't even get a harsh sentence. What was her sentence?
Well, she did get a life in prison finally, but she was the one. I think she went through 8 or 9 lawyers.
Yeah,
it was like, and she loved to write to the judge. She was just writing these essays and treatises.
She said she was playing with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oops. What could go wrong? Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, dark stuff. Okay, so let's.
You have anything lighter for this week, or?
Yeah, I've got this right here. I don't know.
What do you got?
Well, it's not light per se, but this DOJ staffer I think is pretty interesting. She's claiming that she got fired because her husband created an app. Her husband apparently created an app to track the feds.
Yeah.
So essentially to show where people are. It's like, yeah, you work for the DOJ and you get fired. Yeah, I think that would happen. I mean, it's like, who could have told you that? Which I'm kind of loving it here. Now, okay, so something lighter. I've got something lighter. For the first time, Stephen Colbert is funny.
Oh, news break.
Yeah. I mean, well, at least I think it's funny.
Okay.
He's calling himself a martyr.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Wow, look at $14 million martyr. Let me explain something to you. There's two takes I have on this. One is, go back for a second, show that theater. Go back, scroll up a little bit, or that theater. This is the Ed Sullivan Theater, by the way. This has been held hostage by Letterman and Colbert for over 20 years. One of the best side effects of this entire debacle is that theater is going to be free in New York for the first time since freaking Ed Sullivan had his show in that theater. It's a great, great old theater. Now, number 2 on the hit parade, how big of a staff do you think Colbert has, in your humble opinion?
I'm going to guess 100 plus, but I don't know.
200 people on staff working for Stephen Colbert. That's why the show loses. That's how you make a show that loses $40 million a year, because it's kind of like Twitter over there, the old Twitter. These people are pulling down salaries. PAs are pulling down salaries, $60,000 to $70,000 a year to be coffee runners over there, living off of this show, Eric. And they don't care artificially that it's losing $40 million a year. Is this a capitalist TV network or a socialist TV network? At some point, they're going to have to decide what is the economic system of CBS. Because they had 18 of them are fluffers. Well, out of the 200, I wouldn't be surprised. That being said, there used to be Craig Ferguson that we talked about last week on my other channel. His show was being carried by Wide World Pants, Worldwide Pants, Wide World Pants, the Letterman production company, and it was a lost leader. It was losing money every week, but Letterman paid for the losses of the show from his production company. CBS didn't do it. Letterman kept it on because he liked Craig Ferguson. He kept the show on after his show. Okay, this thing is losing $40 million straight up, and they still every year somebody at CBS, somebody at Paramount said we must continue to lose $40 million a year for the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That's the guy you want to interview. That decision maker who said, yes, as a capitalist executive of an entertainment company, I decided personally to lose $40 million a year in shareholders' money for reasons that I'm not going to tell you because they're political reasons. And that's where I'm going with this. Somebody at CBS, and it's got to be somebody who's up pretty high in the food chain, said, I am willing to lose $40 million a year to have this guy go out every night and attack Donald Trump. That's the real story here, not the martyrdom, not the pulling the plug on this nut. The real story is who green lit this show every year for a decade, losing money of $40 million a year in a capitalist society, Eric.
Well, I got to tell you the math I came up with. Obviously, I was so wrong about the stat this is what I was figuring. I was like, okay, he would need no more than 50 people, and that would be pretty big. So let me double that number, and that's what I gave you was double. And then
that's a rational thought. That's a rational thought.
It's like, Jesus, that's how pathetic it really is. Because I mean, I do think 50 would be a big staff, and it could be, but I'm like,
I got this from Rob Finnerty last night, because Finnerty said, I have 8 people on my staff, and he said, I have a show every night. I have 8 people. It's a new show. Take a guess how many this guy's got. And I thought 30. Just to be grandiose. When he said 200, I almost fell off the couch.
And I guess 19 of them are writers. And it sucks that bad.
The writers are pulling down. There's about 20 writers. They're pulling down. Dig this: 200,000 a year.
Man, it is a communist show. I mean,
no, of course, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not sustainable in a capitalist society. The ads have fled. Why have the ads fled? The ads have fled for the same reason many ads flee on YouTube. It's controversial, politically slanted material. So the ads have fled. So it's not being supported by Ford Motor Company, or big ticket Americana ads, Eric, because they don't want to be involved in something as politically slanted, one way or the other, Eric. Of the Colbert's political rants. And rightfully so. They've got to sell cars in the middle of Iowa. You know what I mean? The people
of course, yeah.
Right.
Which, you know what? The best example I've seen, this is very similar to Twitter.
That's why I said Twitter. That's why, dude, we said this the other day. This is exactly the same as Twitter. This was an NGO. What I'm trying to say is the Colbert Show is an NGO, probably funded through a backdoor from USAID. I swear to God, they're going to come up and find out that they were getting USAID money through the back door to CBS to keep this show alive, bro. Guarantee you. This was which is fine, like I said, but we own that license. The American people own that license. That's why it's an outrage.
Oh, no, I agree. Well, I was going to say on Twitter, what was that example? I mean, look, Elon Musk ultimately, I think, fired 85 to 90%, and it became more efficient.
Yes. But that was a private concern. This is one of the few network licenses available in the United States of America to CBS. This was not some random cable channel, off the beaten trail that the FCC doesn't control. This is one of the controllable, renewable licenses that the head of the FCC is investigating because of this.
Yeah.
And they're trying to spin it into a free speech story that a dictator named Donald Trump is now silencing one of his political opponents. Yeah. Amazing chutzpah, bro.
Yep. Well, it's another of their propaganda channels like PBS, which, by the way, is another license that could be available.
Yeah.
Technically. And we've talked about it before. I would like to see all the licenses go up for rebidding.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Let's get other people go in there.
Let's see how long the View lasts when ABC has to have a bidding for their own license. Let's see how long that piece of shit show lasts.
Yep. I think it'll be bad. By the way, 60 Minutes, I think, is next.
Yeah, well, we thought that was going to happen because as part of the settlement, I believe you're going to find out it's the same goose and gander theory as, the voting machines, for reasons that nobody can understand, ended up getting Tucker fired. You know what I mean? Like part of their demands in the voter machine settlement was the firing of Tucker Carlson from Fox, having nothing to do with voter machines. It was just in their demands.
Yep, that's true.
Well, I heard they dropped the White House. The White House has dropped the Wall Street Journal representative. That's nice. They're going to sue him for that immediately, I'm sure.
Sure. if they didn't say why.
But I'm just so surprised, I'm pleasantly surprised once again, how freaking aggressive they are with Stephen Miller and these other people on all fronts. The fact that he's going after the fucking Washington Redskins is so great, Eric, with the stadium naming rights. With the stadium needing federal funding, the new stadium, that he wants them to revert from their generic name, the Commanders, back to the Washington Redskins, or he's not giving them federal funding for this stadium. Holy shit. God bless Donald Trump for having the balls to be involved in so many culturally appropriations in reverse. I did not see this one coming.
Well, this is the magic of Trump on that end.
Yeah.
I liked Andrew Breitbart. I don't care about Breitbart News. It, came after he died, but Andrew Breitbart, who died in 2011, very famously said over and over, and I think he's right, politics is downstream of culture. Now think about it. Donald Trump's not working just politics. He's actually shaping culture.
Or he's attempting to reverse. He's trying to reverse the damage done by the cultural
right. But by fixing the culture or shifting the culture itself, he's going to have a longer effect on the politics, which is brilliant.
They trotted out some Indian, and he said he was opposed to it. Some random Indian tribe, and he said, "No, we're opposed to it because kids in school will get bullied because their names are the Washington Redskins." They trotted out this old trope, and Trump doesn't care. He's just going to bust their balls. Now, look at Columbia University today. Columbia University suspended 2/3 of the protesters for 3 years from having admission to school there, who were involved in the anti-Semitic pro-Palestinian takeover of the Columbia Library. They literally have kicked them out of school because of Donald Trump's aggressive policies towards Columbia University. Hundreds of students got their student careers suspended for up to 3 years today as punishment for being involved in the anti-Semitic protests on the grounds at Columbia University. Holy crap, Eric. I did not see that coming. That did not happen at the height of Mark Rudd and the weathermen at Columbia University blowing shit up.
Yep. Okay. Well, while we were talking about firing, we covered the story on Friday. Remember the Coldplay CEO?
Oh, yeah. What happened to that guy?
He's out. And the board, they released a very, very pithy statement. And they said, whatever his name is, I forget it was, has tendered his resignation and the board of directors has accepted it.
That's a nice one.
Cool. I like hold on, but this is where it's interesting.
Right.
Guess who they can't get rid of yet?
The human resources. The HR,
which is bonkers, because she is in charge. I mean, if there's nothing for cause, how about that? She is the one who's supposed to dictate how things go in the company and interplay between employees and following employee discipline, all that. She's still there. And they've got some lawyers piping off saying, you can't just dump employees because of ugly headlines.
Really? Why not? That's a pretty ugly headline. It's so ugly that the Philly fanatic of the Philadelphia Phillies reenacted the entire Contretemps on the Jumbotron at the Philadelphia Phillies game. And one of the funniest mock-ups, they're funnier than SNL. There's stuff it is happening in this culture that is brilliantly funny that's not covered by the mainstream media. Credit to the Philadelphia Phillies, one dirty, filthy ball club stinking organization. But in this shining moment,
the great mascot,
one of the great mascots of all time, the Philly fanatic, showing his incredible humor chops by reenacting this social crime, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it.
Wow. Okay, now here's the headline I didn't think you would expect to see, and I was surprised to see it because it's Newsweek. Newsweek is actually
weird. Newsweek,
a little bit better. No,
even during the dark time, there was still articles that came out of Newsweek that were okay.
Okay, well, check this one out. Donald Trump is the most successful president after 6 months since FDR.
Dear Lord, loaded. What we're gonna do? Who wrote that? Let's hold on. Who wrote that? Let's give.
Well, ironically, I think it was done through ChatGPT. They ran through and they said which presidents had the most accomplishments in the shortest period of time, and they used AI to.
By the way, Grok said today that Ozzy Osbourne is still alive, causing a controversy even among his family, who had to come out and say he was still alive because Grok didn't have enough input. In other words, this is not a place to go when there's breaking news.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to add
it was better than most. It was probably only a few minutes behind, but
it was. But millions of people Googled it or grokked it, if that's a verb,
right,
immediately, and got that answer that he was still alive because they hit it the second they heard it.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay. It's new to me.
In general, though, just to be fair to Grok, if you do want the more immediate feedback than anywhere else, it is the fastest.
Okay.
Out there because it is compiling X or what have you.
Yeah.
Because I know when it broke, Leslie's like looking, she goes, "No, it's not true." I'm like, "No, trust me, it's true."
I know. I know.
I'm like, go find AP. I mean, as soon as I saw Sky News said it and AP, I'm like,
yeah.
No,
I didn't have any doubt. I was surprised he was alive that long.
But yeah, fair enough. Let me see. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty damn cool headline.
Well, it's mathematically true.
Yeah, but
that's why people flipped out about, or at least I flipped out about the thing with Epstein, because the guy has done so much so quickly, and he's not done with Epstein. I mean, how fast they turned on him, Eric, and how vicious they were with the bombing of the Iranian nuclear facilities, the three of them. How quickly they turned on him was shocking to me, despite all of this stuff that he's done in 6 months. I can't understand the mindset. I just can't get it. Is he wrong on occasion? Absolutely. Can he be a douchebag? Absolutely. But I mean, these people turned on him so quickly on policy. I was shocked.
Yeah. And then somebody's pointing out Grok can be wrong. Yes, Grok can be wrong, and Grok was very wrong recently. Grok, let's say, got some World War II Germanic opinions there.
You think?
They slid out of control there
you think?
for minutes. So, no, all AI, it's definitely verify before you trust. Don't even do the trust and verify. Just verify. It's a shortcut. If it gives you information, then you go double check it.
It's good for certain things like ringworm for dogs, stuff like that. It's really good.
It is. And it's also good for pointing you in a direction to actually go research yourself. Wikipedia also was good for that in the sense of like, okay, here's a general narrative. Now let me go confirm the facts and let me go follow the links in the articles. Let me go look up other articles. So it's just a shortcut to get you down and look, but not the be all end all, obviously. I don't know if you saw this. Trump is going to pull the U.S. out of UNESCO over DEI policies.
Love this.
Pro-Palestinian, pro-China tilt.
This is another thing. I did not see any of these coming. And did I just say Nazi, like a Nazi? That I did not see this coming.
You did not pause C, YouTube fact checkers.
Yes. Okay. I was just want to reemphasize that. I was saying I did not visually have this coming on my radar. But great. Another one of these things. Another victory.
Yeah.
Another victory. I mean, these people's heads are spinning. The people in Europe, their heads must be spinning over how quickly and you could see why now in retrospect they tried to keep him out of office.
Well, did you see the head of NATO called him daddy?
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Like, what?
Did you see the picture of Angela Merkel and Vandalin?
Yes.
And her? Could you tell me how evil these teenagers looked? I had a female friend look at these three as teenagers, and she said they're obviously witches. I mean, they look so evil. The three teenagers.
They did kind of look like The Craft, the movie.
It was right out of The Craft. I mean, I couldn't look at them anymore.
Yes. I don't have that one handy, but yes, I did see that floating around.
Holy crap.
And it is a great question. It's like, in what world? Well, I mean, technically, I guess back in the day, the royalty are all related. So yes, three girls that were friends with.
Right. These are not
No, but they're not royalty.
Right.
But
and
they're obviously, they're obviously groomed into becoming world leaders.
Well, this photo proves it. This photo proves it. If you looked at my teenage friends, 2 of them ended up in jail and the rest others are dead. We weren't groomed for anything.
Yeah, nobody's answering their phones either.
No.
I don't know if you saw this. This is interesting. And speaking of China, Wells Fargo is pulling out of China. There's a dispute where there's a Wells Fargo executive.
Yeah.
And it's an American citizen, and China's not letting them leave.
Oh, that's dark.
Apparently this is happening in other cases.
What?
In a string of similar events. Yeah. You've got a Japanese employee, Stellis Pharma, a Beijing court sentenced to espionage. Then another U.S. firm, Mentz's Group Beijing office, detaining its employees. Leon Wang, the president of AstraZeneca China, has been detained and investigated since December 2024. Charles Wang Zhong.
Have they been charged with stuff?
Some are charged, some are just being held while they're investigating. And
that's weird.
I think that
Well, you know what's weird? Let me ask you something. What is our relationship with Venezuela at this time? We are having prisoner swaps. Dude. We are having prisoner swaps with the nation of Venezuela. Have you been following this since Trump got inaugurated? Marco Rubio has been involved, and just again yesterday, freeing Americans from Venezuelan detention in exchange for other Venezuelans that we had in detention. Are they some sort of Soviet nation that we're in a Cold War with? What is our relationship?
We also agreed to let them keep selling oil with Chevron or something. I think as part of these negotiations. Now, wasn't Grinnell involved with?
Yes, but Marco Rubio was involved in this. Rubio took credit for freeing them. And again, just yesterday, there was another swap. Like, what is the status here?
Well, they are among the most well-known communists in the world right now.
Right. So it's almost like a new Cold War, which is where I was going to with this. Yeah. And by the way, Bolsonaro is now wearing an ankle bracelet in case he tries to flee to Miami. They put an ankle bracelet on the former president of Brazil.
Now, isn't Trump running sanctions against them because of him right now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. See, I haven't been,
dude, some of this stuff is so freaking crazy.
Wow. I don't know. Crazy. All right. You know what's not crazy?
What?
Our super chats.
Really?
Yeah, we've got super chats here. People are supporting. That's
twist.
Never crazy. Well, maybe they're crazy, but I am so thankful for them. And Mike Schaefer. Mark, we know you're looking for scalps, but whose scalp, highest official, do you really think we'd see so many complicit? I'll go for Brennan Clapper.
Yeah, people are going for Brennan Clapper. They're kind of in trouble. Clapper, particularly because he lied on camera under oath before the Senate. But again, if you develop this case into a conspiracy under a RICO statute, they could all go down together.
Weiss is a good one too. She can come.
Yeah, I would think the most vulnerable right now is Clapper and Brennan, to answer your question, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'd be happy with both of them. Jack White with $50. Well, thank you very much. I listened to one of your segments recently, and Mark brought up a McCarthyism. The commentator Razorfist did a video about that recently, and corrected the record about McCarthy and how he was slandered and libeled by commies and corrupt actors. Mark just got a bunch of books on McCarthy.
Yeah, no. That's absolutely true. I mean, McCarthy, it's just one of the most fascinating things. The reason they hammer it so much on the left is because they're lying so much on the left. The reason this is taught in first grade is because it's one of the big, great American lies of all time by the commies trying to protect themselves. And that's why McCarthy is so important for people who are conservative in this country. This is one of the most maligned, lied about senators in American history. Thanks, Jack. Jack, thank you very much for that donation.
Very generous. And I would say not only most lied about and maligned, but maybe one of the most important figures in the 20th century.
Absolutely.
Who single-handedly almost set back the communist clutches in the United States.
Absolutely. And that's why he's despised.
Decades.
Yeah, that's why he's despised. And that's why they make such a big deal out of McCarthy. You ever wonder why they make such a big deal out of him? What's her name? Somebody Fast Wang, who is a commentator on MSNBC she's got like yellow hair and big glasses. People in the chat may know Fast Wang, Jennifer Fast Wang or something. Her father was Howard Fast, and he went to jail under McCarthy for not revealing that he was a communist. She brought this up just yesterday on MSNBC regarding the debacle with Stephen Colbert, comparing it to McCarthyism. It never goes away. They use this as a weapon every single time their backs are against the commie wall. They will go there against McCarthyism. And she just did this yesterday on MSNBC.
And meanwhile, we're going, oh, good. I hope it is. I hope it is like McCarthy. It's actually like go the other way and say, I hope so.
Look, the only way to, I hate to say this, but the only way to fight communism is with fascism. And you can dilute it or red shirts. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. The only ones who know how to fight commies are fascists. The arch nemesis of the commie is the fascist. Those two are locked in a life or death struggle for eternity. And they're the only ones who see through their bullshit. The only ones who can, and that's why they call everyone a fascist. Those are their eternal enemies. It's almost like the racist terminology for any white person who challenges anything. The fascist thing is because that's the ones who know them. The fascists are the one who know their Achilles heel, who know how to defeat them. That is their nightmare, are fascists.
By the way, we're not celebrating fascists.
I'm not. I'm just telling you.
Stand on the side and watch them just battle to the death. And meanwhile, we'll have a good country here. Let them battle away over there.
There was a famous protest video shootout, and I believe it's in North Carolina in the 80s, 82, between the Klan and the commies. And you didn't know who to root for. There was a Klan rally, and people who were a little older from North Carolina may be able to pinpoint where exactly this happened. But I remember it in the early 80s. I think it was a Klan rally, and the commies showed up, and a fight broke out, and a shootout broke out between the commies and the Klan, and you didn't know who to root for. This was one of the most famous historical odd events of opposing forces I've ever seen. Commies versus the Klan in somewhere in North Carolina in the early 80s, Eric.
Mm-hmm. And somebody's saying, well, then explain Antifa. That literally does explain Antifa.
Yeah, it does explain
anti-fascist.
Anti-fascist.
Antifa.
And where did Antifa come from? Antifa came from Germany in the 80s. It came from East Germany. And this was before the collapse of the wall. The anti-fascist forces were communists in East Germany fighting against their arch nemesis, which they perceived to be fascists.
Is it nemesis?
Nemesis or nemesis? I don't know.
I don't know.
But they literally came from East Germany to the United States in the 80s and 90s to train American leftists how to fight and protest the Antifa way of East Germany.
Wow. All right, police speech. Back in Rumble with our second Rumble rant. 27 years ago, while shopping in Medford, Oregon, I found a world newspaper. Bat Boy in a mayo jar was a big story. But Magnetic Man of Denmark died from walking near the nail/screw section of a hardware store.
Right. So this guy in New York who went into the MRI machine to his demise this week had a 20-pound gold chain with a padlock on it.
Am I frozen or is Mark frozen? because I'm not seeing anything. Mark is frozen on my end. Okay, I guess Mark is the one frozen.
Oh, I'm back. So who cares if Eric comes back? Okay.
Okay,
so
you were the one gone. I just
in New York.
It
looked like a storefront MRI operation. He went in for a knee MRI. So his head did not go into the MRI machine, Eric. His leg went into the MRI machine. But the technician, for reasons we still don't know, other than it was like a strip mall MRI medical office from the outside, it looked like a strip mall. He, because of the metal, got sucked into the giant magnet of the MRI to his death. From the reverse. In other words, his leg was going into the MRI. It completely pulled him around, killing him with the chain around his neck, magnetizing him to death.
I think somebody or people are pointing out in the chat saying, by the way, gold's not magnetic. So he got ripped off even then, having a fake gold chain.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it was fake gold or what it was, but the metal, they can't. I've had MRIs at
how could you miss that, though? I mean,
no, but I'm saying I've had a lot of MRIs over the years, different things. I got a brain tumor, whatever I got. They are emphatic about any metal in your body. Forget about outside your body. That's like a no-brainer. There's signs everywhere. They ask you 25 times, do you have any jewelry? They give you a locker at Cedars to put it in. They ask you repeatedly, do you have any metal in your body? This guy jumps into the MRI with a 20-pound gold chain around his neck.
Which is bonkers. Yes, you're right. They're obnoxious about it. I had an MRI a long time ago, and I told them no, and they said, are you sure? No. Hey, do you mind if I look real quickly? No. Now you have not. I mean, they're obnoxious about it. Like, what about fillings? Do you have fillings?
Right. Everything. And this is the reason why they're obnoxious about it. This guy is dead now.
But I'm going, how the hell did you miss 20 pounds? I mean,
not only
obviously
that,
the checks have to get hammered.
If you read the article, he had been there before and discussed the chain. Molly Jong Fast, the daughter of Howard Fast, the communist McCarthy victim, or outed by McCarthy. How did they miss it? He was there before and discussed the chain with him as a piece of jewelry with the same technician. It's almost like a negligent homicide.
Yeah, it's almost like, I wonder if the technician planned to take the chain away.
Maybe it was a chain snatching gone bad.
Maybe. Ugh. And you said his head wasn't. It's like, well, not at first.
Not at first, but afterwards it was. His head was complete.
Never mind. We will know more details because we watched
this one. I don't want to know.
We'll talk about Jack White. Jack White wants to know and some interesting truths about Eisenhower and Truman and how they ended up protecting commies in government.
Well, Truman for sure. I don't know about Eisenhower as much, but Truman. The worst was FDR. I mean, he literally laughed. When he was told about
was it deliberate or it was just duped?
I think it was a dupe. I think he was duped.
Okay. I mean, now I do know that FDR was borderline himself because he wrote love letters to Mussolini. He loved so much.
Well, I mean, his wife really was further to the left than him. I mean, nobody disputes that. Eleanor Roosevelt, way years after he was dead.
Well, she had that fake city or that corp, like not like almost like a company city that failed in every way. Wasn't she behind that? I forgot
she was behind a lot of Marxist programs. Let me put it that way.
All right. Jack White is saying the name of his YouTube channel is The Rageaholic. Yep. I know.
I don't know.
Barnes and Viva had him on a sidebar way back in the day.
And what's his thing now? Why is he important?
He's the one who did the McCarthy video. I see. Still talking about that. Al Gonzalez. Sources say Ozzy's demise was pre-planned by his own hand prior to his farewell concert. R.I.P.
What?
I heard that, but I'm just going to leave it private to the family, and I don't know. I mean, he was obviously in not great health. He had a lot of problems, and I mean, whatever. I'm not going to go anywhere. Grandpa gifted 5 America's Untold Stories membership, which we deeply appreciate always. Thank you, Grandpa. And what do we have here? Pamela Clifton. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, Pamela. Pamela's always so sweet. She tells me she likes the thumbnails on X and helps encourage. JS. I'm concerned with England losing it to Muslim control. This will include military and nuclear weapons. That's true.
Yeah, he's right.
Handing them a world-class military seems stupid. The royal family will be shut down too. Not as concerning.
Yeah.
I think it's too late.
It's too late, bro. It's way, nobody.
Yep.
First of all, let me just address this. Nobody's doing anything to prevent it right now anyway. No. They're not doing a goddamn thing. And I hate to take the Lord's name in vain. However, they are allowing this to happen. There's no stopping it. They're crowing about it. They're invoking Sharia law on billboards, saying, vote for me, Muhammad, whatever his name is, I will implement Sharia law in Bristol or wherever the town he's running for mayor in. This thing is gone. It's gone.
Well, they can't do anything now.
Right.
They let it go.
They let it go this far. They will
and now you have a majority population that they just voted in.
They're outbreeding the English 8-1. I'm sorry for your loss, but your own British politicians did this to you. You did not stop them. You physically didn't stop them. You electronically, electorally, intellectually, on no level did you attempt to stop them. I mean, it's shocking, but it's true. They're now going to be Turkey. They're going to be a Muslim country like Turkey in NATO, nuclear armed, like Erdogan has in Turkey. And that's going to be the UK. That's it. The French, never. They are completely the opposite. They have kept them out of Paris. They Frenchify them when they try to get in there. They teach them French, the language, cooking, French culture, whatever you want to do, whatever your beef is with the French. It's not about this.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, sadly, England may just wind up being the object lesson. And nothing else there. Jenny's getting inky with it. Wonder if squatters are getting paid to do it.
They're not.
No, that's their payment. They got a polling place.
Yeah, a lot of these people were living on the PCH, and they saw the opening and they seized it. They have RVs, beat up old RVs along the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu for years, and they were tolerated there. And then they saw the opening and they took it.
Right, JS. Adam Carolla property survived. With the new neighborhood, he will lose big time.
Yeah, I mean, even if your property survived, it's like you've got an apartment building in the middle of Dresden in 1946. Like, good luck going to the supermarket. You can't even get services there. The only services that you could get are in Santa Monica. There's no hospital in Pacific Palisades or Malibu. There's no services. You have to literally get on the PCH and drive south to Santa Monica to get anything. So, good luck. That whole community is gone. It's never going to be rebuilt the way it was. And I believe the government will seize the property.
Yeah. See, Dr. Evil 814. Mark, how much is a cup of coffee in downtown LA, and is it safe to go there?
Yeah, it's totally, dude. First of all, you're talking to a guy who grew up in New York, right? Okay, so it's all perspective of what you think safe is. I feel safe going anywhere in this city. I was in New York in the 70s, bro, when gangs would take over the subway trains and literally commandeering them. Right? Well, yeah, think about the Warriors. Right? So I'm not the right guy to ask about that because I'm not fazed by anything in LA after having grown up in New York. So a cup of coffee downtown.
I was going to say 70s. Wasn't it Dirty Harry for the West and Death Wish for New York?
Yeah, it was both. And those movies were a statement of their times. They really were. They were East Coast and West Coast. Dirty Harry, obviously, in San Francisco. And then the other one in New York. Both of them. What's that? Death Wish. Yeah, both of them very brutal. Very brutal movies for their time. I don't think we're anywhere near that level that was in New York at the 70s. It was out of control. It was out of control.
Give it time. I mean, San Francisco was trying really hard.
Yeah,
and it's a race, and New York. I mean, it has slowed down a bit under Adams.
Yeah.
Would your Muslim get?
They had a situation. They came out with statistics this week in LA saying crime is down, crime is down, crime is down, and it got picked up by the national news. Murders are down. It's all a bunch of shit. What they do is she owns the chief of police, so they downgrade felonies to misdemeanors. They were caught in Atlanta doing the same thing. Everybody knows the drill. So it gets picked up nationally. So yesterday out in Encino, in this super upscale neighborhood, 250 residents showed up at a town hall screaming at the chief of police, deputy chief of police, about crime. This couple that was show business couple was literally killed in their house, their multi-million-dollar house, by an assailant. And these people are losing their shit over crime and murder and violence in Encino. And the cop had the presence of mind to say from the stage, but crime is way down, and the whole audience is screaming at him and walking out. These are the citizens, not radicals. These are homeowners in Encino walking out of an official police town hall event, telling them that crime is down after numerous homeowners have been murdered in their homes, Eric, in break-in robberies. This is a Marxist method that the people are not tolerating, but they will continue to vote for them. There's a disconnect in their brain.
This is why when you hear crime stats, you have to look at homicides. That is the hardest one to cover up because there was a living person, and they're no longer living.
Oh, no, I agree.
Versus you could just say, oh, you know what? It's only illegal if it's under $1,000 or over $1,000. So you eliminate all the lower level stuff. But it's very difficult to get rid of those tricky homicides because there is a
previous district attorney got rid of them by not charging them. The previous district attorney downgraded them to negligent homicide. The previous district attorney hid the actual bodies. The previous Marxist district attorney did all kinds of things to alter those statistics, a panoply of techniques that they came up with as Marxists that Nathan Hochman is now the new DA having to deal with for the first time, of hiding these statistics. And it's not the first time it's happened in a major American city, obviously.
Sure. MK, guys, do the Dems want to create vigilantes? Keep threatening children and property, and they will.
Yep, vigilantes on our side. Yeah, I mean, look, at some point, whether they want to create them or not, there was a situation on a platform in New York on the subway where this giant hulking black guy was just beating the crap out of some girl, and a group of 8 men pounced on him and just started pulverizing him. There was no time to call the police. There was no time to do anything. I mean, is that vigilante justice? You tell me. What are they supposed to do?
Well, wasn't it Bernard Goetz?
That's right.
It took it to that level, right? And I think he was exonerated.
Yes.
So
I think Gonzalez was on the force during that Bernie Goetz period. You don't look so bad. Here, have another, Al. Remember?
Jack White.
Great line by Bernard Goetz.
Ouch. Jack White. It's not just Colbert. It's also Kurtzman, who has complete dominion over Star Trek. Every S-tier Star Trek show we have gotten in the last decade comes from him, and he's still employed. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy, same thing. In terms of the woke stuff, pissing money away, things like that. I agree. MB, when do you think The View will be canceled?
I think it's about
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's still going.
It's about multiple contracts running out. It's about aligning the stars of multiple contracts. Keep in mind that Colbert is still going to be crowing the whole year.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't heard the last of Colbert because they're trying to avoid being sued by the people who are they're firing or canceling. So with The View, I think it's going to be multiple non-contract renewed situations one by one until it's done. So it's going to take.
Whoopi will retire.
Yeah. Because from their point of view, they don't want to get sued. They want these shows to go away, but it's not so easy to make them go away. The easier, softer way is to ride them out and not renew contracts. which is,
as a matter of fact, that's what they're doing with Colbert. Is they're saying we're literally dropping the whole show. So they're eliminating the position, not him. Oh, he's fine. We're just ending the show. Sorry.
Well, his contract's running out anyway, so it's both.
Oh, right, but if they kept the show going and let him go, then maybe they're making.
Oh, he's going to squawk all year, Eric, right? He's going to keep crowing.
Yeah, he's probably going to become slightly more relevant for a minute.
Yeah,
sadly. Dr. Evil 814, Eric, are your ancestors connected to the CSS submarine? We haven't had a direct link to Horace Hunley. We think maybe he's distantly related to me, but I don't have conclusive proof. He might have even been adopted. It's very tenuous. It's going back quite a ways.
Wow.
Jack White, America's Untold Stories episode or episodes about McCarthy. Will you guys do it?
Yeah, eventually we'll do it.
I think it's coming. Yeah. So, by the way, are we going to be doing Hague? I know we've taken a break for a while, but
I have no idea.
Everything. Maybe. All right. I have such sights to show. Slight correction, Mark. Antifa started out as anti-fascist, whatever, I can't say it, the paramilitary terror arm of the German Communist Party in the 1930s.
Completely different organization. Completely different organization. I completely dispute that.
Okay.
I'm talking about East Germany, 1980s, Antifa, separate organization.
All right. Jenny's getting inky with it. Could be the guy thought the chain was pure gold, but gold jewelry is never just gold. But maybe they didn't know that.
The guy did. It wasn't a robbery. Let me put it that way. We're kidding. The guy wasn't. The guy says, the jewelry is the jewelry. You got to take it off. And now he's gone. And the technician wasn't attempting to steal his gold chain. I think we were just joking about that.
Right. Jack White. FDR was a bitter cripple and a cousin for and a commie.
Well, first of all, he wasn't bitter. I don't think he was a bitter cripple. That's a little bit extreme. This guy tried, especially in Warren Springs, Georgia, to help hundreds and hundreds of disabled children who had similar polio. I mean, he put so much work into the disability and the polio March of Dimes, one of the greatest movements in American medical history, leading eventually to the Salk vaccine by polio, the polio vaccine by Jonas Salk, which we have an episode about. FDR was a real champion for polio and the March of Dimes, which is an incredible story in American history and culture.
Right. Now we don't necessarily like all of his politics, but he wasn't all bad all the time. So I mean, the Muslim take over the
is it a take Uber? A takeover?
I'm guessing his takeover of the UK was started by Tony Blair, the former prime minister of the UK who was elected in 97, and he still has a lot of influence in the UK. There's a reason the Lotus Eater crew calls him the Dark Lord.
Right, but nothing is done. It's great. Just keep pointing it out. He's laughing all the way to maybe he's going to get the 27 virgins by an honorary degree or something.
They called him Bush's poodle too. I remember.
Right.
But he
so
doesn't
what?
Bother him.
So what? I mean, there's people on the right who think that name calling or shaming shameless psychopathic or sociopathic people is going to have an effect. The only thing that has an effect is incarceration or a bullet to the head. That's it. You got to look at them as vampires. They're shaming a vampire in Night of the Living Dead.
I don't know if Mark is frozen or
what? I'm not frozen.
Oh, okay.
The shaming of a vampire in the Night of the Living Dead is not going to stop the vampire from coming into the cabin.
All right. Anyway, $50. Thank you very much, Jack White. I mean,
Jack, thanks, man.
That's very generous.
No, I'm serious. I mean, this name calling stuff. Okay, it's a war. It's exactly what I'm talking about, Jack. Big deal. I mean, I appreciate.
And is Cheney crying? Is Bush's handy candy to Michelle Obama? Their buddies.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
They love each other.
Right. I mean, they don't care. It didn't even stop Dr. Evil from trying to incarcerate Trump. You know, he's and bring in his evil spawn daughter. I mean, the way to stop them is clearly political beheading.
Yes, political. YouTube censors political at the ballot box.
What did I say?
We ignore the second word. Political qualifies the
what did I say?
Political beheading. But I want the political to come forth. Paul Guzzo. Thanks for the news on the LA. Keep up the good work. Inquiring minds.
Yeah, I'm a war correspondent, bro. I'm behind enemy lines. I'm doing this. And I can't believe how many people have told me you got to leave. It's almost like anger provoking on their part. I don't care. But they get angry that I'm here giving you this information. It's really bizarre. I mean, look, if I had a wife and kids, you know, I would think about it. But I'm by myself. And this is fascinating history that we're involved in here as a journalist. I mean, I couldn't get this coverage if inside coverage if I lived in Texas or some other place. It would be boring.
All right, and last super chat, we're going to be rolling to locals. Jack White again. And if you guys do McCarthy, you should have Razor Fist on.
No,
as a co-host.
We don't do that.
We're not going to do that.
We don't. You got to understand the show. There's 700 episodes that we've done. Has Razor Fist been on any of them?
No, and we don't have guest co-hosts.
I'm kidding, Jack.
Occasionally bring people on, but
we're not for that. Yeah, we don't. No disrespect to Razor Fist, but we do our own thing over here.
Absolutely, and but you know, stick around. You'll see that over time.
Yeah, I mean, we do have guests on the show for political shows. I mean, we've had the young Nate Hochman, who I think we should bring back.
Oh, we need to have him back. Yeah,
and also the guy who does the impersonation of Tucker. I mean, that guy's a genius when he's not even doing the impersonation. I mean, his soliloquies on politics are brilliant.
Right. Okay. One more. Jack White, and I meant take over the UK. Sometimes I wonder if the joke condition from Futurama of stupid fingers is a thing when I make up like that.
I don't know about Futurama. I haven't really seen the show, but it's kind of like Idiocracy in a lot of ways. It's like UK British Idiocracy.
I think so. It was. I think it's Simpsons guys put that one together.
Do you watch it?
Oh, no, but I think that's who did it. But we're going to head over to locals and catch up with everybody there. Now, you know, you can join locals for free, become a member. They're free. And we keep the conversation going.
Look, let me be as blunt as humanly possible because Hunley's being a nice guy. It's $70 for the whole year to join this goddamn thing. You get secret documents, secret papers, PDFs of rare JFK books. You get the Oswald audio drama, which Eric and his people have translated using AI into 10 hours or more of my original scripts with Oliver Stone. You get that for part of the gifts for joining for $70 a year. Never mind this namby-pamby surfing around for free crap. That ain't going to cut it anymore. Eric and I have enough demonetization problems with YouTube. The $70 a year is not going to break you to get all these different PDFs and articles and secret documents that we have over there, plus the Oswald and soon, I think, LBJ audio drama that's coming up next. And maybe that'll be a sales tool to get you people to join. You could subscribe to YouTube, but the actual joining of locals gives you a lot of privileges that Eric and I don't have the time to mention, but we are mentioning it today, including these audio dramas where you get the actual script in your hand, not in your hand, but you get to read the script online while you're following along to the audio drama of Oswald, soon to be JFK, soon to be LBJ. And then eventually we're going to do the RFK audio drama as well. So this is only for membership. This is not for people who are coming over there as squatters or as freeloaders or grifters passing through the neighborhood, attempting to cherry pick or pick off stuff for free. That's not for you. We're talking about actual members who are willing to pay. I know it's a lot of money, but it's $70 for an entire year. Not a week, not a month, not 6 months, 1 full year. I know you can't afford it. I know you're living on welfare, but still $70 is probably somewhere in your couch. If you could
there's a chat in locals going right now, private chat, all for locals people.
Right.
And that's for paying supporters. And Otto in the chat even said Jack White could have joined locals with all those super chats.
That's right, but he chooses not to. He'd rather be on the outside. Maybe he's afraid in the UK they're going to track him down. But you would be able to get, and I'm not kidding about this, there are PDFs in there of books in the JFK genre that are $700 that you get as a PDF that are unavailable, out of print books that I have gotten through nefarious means. And somehow Eric and I have put these up onto locals for members only. I can't stress that enough. You could go to other places, you'll get other benefits, but if you want the benefits that we have on this channel, you have to pay the incredible amount of $70 stinking dollars a year. I know it's going to break you, but you're going to have to somehow either resort to crime, rob your wife, steal a credit card, go to your kid's college fund, and come up with $70 stinking dollars to become a member, not for a week, but the entire year. Think about how much news has happened in 1 year. Thank you. This has been a general message in support of locals.
And those of you who aren't going over to locals, we will see.
Yeah, you're not even going to see this if we go over there, right?
That's true. But we've got cool people there waiting, so we will be headed over to talk to them.
I'm going to go to the bed.